Everyone, and welcome back to the J22 Report. I am your host, Johnnie Market. You all know that drill. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Give me a follow on Rumble. And just wanted to do a video. And also remember the disclaimer. Nothing said on this video should be construed as financial investment advice. Read more below. Um, anyway, let's get into today's video. Big things. And what was very telling to me was Warren Buffett amasses more cash and sells more stock, but doesn't explain why in his annual letter. So there it is. Like, in my opinion, the reason why, it's just my opinion, doesn't mean it's fact, but he's stockpiling cash and selling stock is this is what you do when you see a crash is that, if you're not someone who shorts the market, you pile up a large cash position, wait for the crash, and then you start buying all these stocks that he likes with lower prices. So it's like going on shopping. If you knew there was going to be a sale next week, or you're going to go to the store this week and buy the clothes, the brands, the groceries. Maybe you'll get groceries to get you through the current week, but you're not going to buy all the stuff you really love. You're going to buy just enough to get you. And then when it goes on sale, then you're going to go in and buy all the stuff you like. Maybe you'll buy more than you normally buy extra, clothes and all that other stuff. So that's why he's doing it. And the reason why he didn't explain it in the annual letter is because he'd have to explain why he thinks the economy's crashing. And what's his brand? His brand is Buy America, Buy America, never bet against America. Well, he doesn't want to have to say that, he hasn't been telling the truth. So anyway, and just more stuff today. Here it is, private sector hiring. These people, they talk about Doge cuts and how the private sector is going to absorb them. But another reason they'll fail is they're just going to go on the unemployment dole. And city and state and local governments, they'll start to have to go broke. And then they're going to get bailed out by the federal government. And it's not going to save us money. But anyway, going back, U.S. hiring private sector declined for 29 months straight, longest streak since 2007. Hiring total private sector. So there it is. If you look at it here, just declining. And that's the thing with Uncle Joe's last presidency, is that it was all government workers. So right here, you can see right here in the thing, since 2021, the government private sector hiring has been net negative. So you can see we are in recession. And I mean, part of it's also just outsourcing. They're outsourcing the jobs somewhere else, especially accounting, law, and everything. They're starting to outsource that stuff. More shows. I just looked this up. I tried to get, but the article says gig workers for Uber, Instacart, and other services made less money on average, even as number of hours they work rose. So their earnings fell, but their number of hours work. So work more, pay less. So, and that was the thing about the gig economy. And I think this is an example because my wife had to use the gig economy when she lost her job because unemployment pays almost nothing. And so she had to use the gig economy. And when she got a new job, but it takes a long time to get a new job. And so that would show that as more and more people lost their full-time jobs with benefits and unemployment pays, it doesn't, you can't, if you have rent and you have everything else, you have car payments, you can't keep up with your payments. So what do? You have to go on the gig. You have to go. So there's an excess of people driving the Ubers, the Instacarts, and they're getting paid less. They're getting less drives, less tips. And not only that, as people lose their jobs, they're not going out as much. They're not going to Uber. They're not going to as inflation comes up, those Uber drives are a lot more expensive now. So there it is. I did a video on the LEIs, and this is the other thing, it's lowest since 8 years, but the index is skewed towards manufacturing, which has been in a recession since I don't know when. So that's why the LEIs, I'm going to stop covering them now that I know this, because I don't think it matters. Last thing I wanted to get into article is I talked to you all about this, but this is James L. Kraft. And this I just said like, governments as long as people exist, governments will exist and they'll be buying and selling. James L. Kraft exported cheese to India and Asia to provide the US government with 6 billions of Kraft cheese to feed the soldiers during World War One. And that's how he got rich. That's how he made his fortune off government contracts. He's the Elon Musk of food, James L. Kraft. So anyway, so I mean, this whole manipulation. Oh yeah, the government's selling gold or selling and swapping it. I mean, as long as there's people, there's going to be governments, and they buy and sell. They pick winners and losers. That's how it's been. You got to be in the market. When you analyze stuff, you got to be in the market you're in, not the one you want. But anyway, just wanted to wrap up. As you can see, the economy is tanking. We're clearly headed towards recession. And Warren Buffett knows it. That's why he's selling and selling and buying up cash. In fact, the earnings were huge because they had interest income. If he thought the economy was doing poorly, even with these interest rates, he always invested in stocks. And, that's all I have to say. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and remember the disclaimer, not to be construed as financial investment advice. All right, I will see you next video.